Hi, this is Mark Laughlin with the Ambidextral Gunfighter. Most bullpups, most foreign-made bullpups, have atrocious triggers. Thankfully, American bullpups, Desert Tech and KelTec, have exceptional triggers. Now, this is probably a result of the QC and R&D feedback loop from the American gun culture, which is why Chi-Com gun makers are so eager to test and develop their products here and in Canada. Some people think that a bullpup trigger is not that important, that the design is meant primarily for urban and close quarters combat. This is where the thinking is wrong. Bullpups, compared to conventional rifles, are extremely quick handling, meaning that there is little inertia resisting moving a bullpup muzzle to a target or stopping a bullpup muzzle on a target. The bullpup is much faster than the AR and other conventional rifles. Now, three-gun competitors try to overcome the AR's inertia with the C-clamp foregrip hold. Now, why is this important for triggers? Because shitty trigger techniques will quickly overcome the bullpup's low muzzle inertia. Now, the shooter sees the target in his crosshairs of his optic, and with poor trigger technique combined with a heavy and gritty trigger will be pulling the shot as he squeezes the trigger. Now, Rob Leatham kind of talks about this in his video, Aiming is Useless, 3 Secrets to Great Shooting. I'll include a link in the description down below. Now, in our recent RDB roundtable discussion, we concluded that the KelTec RDB's trigger is superior to the Desert Tech MDR. Now, we don't have an MDR for side-by-side comparison, so that conclusion is from memory. But we do recall a very nice, crisp, but slightly heavy trigger on the MDR. Now, how did the KelTec achieve such a great trigger? Well, let's first look at the MDR trigger. It is a conventional bullpup trigger with a trigger bar transferring movement of the trigger back to the trigger group located near the fire control group. I don't know the workings of all bullpups, but I think this is how pretty much every manufacturer does it, except KelTec. Now, KelTec's secret is that they keep the trigger and trigger mechanism all right together. Now, we can't really see a whole lot in here, but the sear trip, trigger bar, etc. are all contained here, right here, in a very conventional trigger group that surrounds the trigger itself. This means that all of the important fine movement can be very smooth and low drag. So when the trigger breaks, it is only then that the RDB is transferring this movement back to the hammer or the fire control group. For those of you familiar with motor vehicles, the RDB trigger is like a starter solenoid that then unleashes a more powerful force that is carried back to the hammer. So we see here, if I pull the trigger, and once that breaks, once the break occurs here, then this bar is then sending release information to the hammer, and the hammer goes forward and fires the RDB. And that is how KelTec makes their RDB trigger so good. This is the kind of smart engineering that John Moses Browning would admire, and the shockingly innovative firearms engineering that is so routine from KelTec. This is Mark Laughlin with the Ambidextral Gunfighter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Get yourself a KelTec RDB if you can. develop your ambidextral gunfighting skills. This is one of the best rifles for the ambidextral gunfighter, if not the best. Be sure and check out our RDB roundtable discussion. Link will be down in the description. And there will be additional forthcoming videos on the RDB. We'll be doing some shorter format videos, review videos. But I think you'll find the discussion, though a bit long, quite interesting.